We've all had fish broth, but have you ever had a Chinese style fish broth packed with lots of flavor in that very unassuming clear broth? Well, today's the day we're gonna try something new. Okay, so for our mise en place, it is definitely not measly because we mise business. But today we are using lots and lots and lots and lots of ingredients. I mean, it looks like a lot. It is a little bit overwhelming, but it's because we have to add the flavors layer by layer, and we are going to take our time, and that's what makes it Chinese style. The fact that the broth is going to take its time to really build the flavor that we want and make it a nice clear broth that is just going to surprise you. So I picked up this kingfish steaks at Massy, and I'm going to be using some of our very lovely shadow benny and our green onions and, well, chive, pimentos, garlic, ginger to make our green seasoning. Now, yes, Afiya has said before, you don't need green seasoning everything. I will come out here and say with my chest, you do not need green seasoning for everything. I said you don't need green seasoning for everything. But when you do need green seasoning, you can make it fresh with the ingredients that we know and love. We're going to be using lots of our different parts from different vegetables that we're going to be using to put in the broth. So we're using these vegetables in particular to put into the broth, but to create the broth, you can use the ends of these same vegetables. So don't throw your ends because they can come in handy to make a broth. And when you make a broth like this or any kind of broth, remember you could always freeze it. You don't have to use it one time. So don't throw away your ends. Try to recycle all that you have. Things shouldn't go to waste, right? That's what I'm saying. We're gonna start with the green seasoning, and I'm going to be using the green seasoning in both the broth and the fish. So you're not gonna be using all of this for the fish alone. So you're gonna have half and half, right? So as usual, put in our, green onions, our ginger and garlic, our good old shadow benny that we so love. Just adding a little bit of water so it blends nicely. And I'm going to add the pimentos. I just want to get this down first. You know how this can be. We've all been there. This wasn't working out. So, you know, you had to bring all the big tools. Can finally add my pimentos. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Green seasoning is done. Blitzed. Smelling good, looking good. So you have your shadow benny, your ginger, your garlic, your green onions. You have your pimentos and some vinegar and a little bit of water so it blends well. And there you go, your green seasoning, good to go. Now remember, it's just half of this for the broth and half for the fish. So I'm gonna season the fish now. So I'm gonna season the fish with our green seasoning. Again, it's kingfish I'm gonna be using, kingfish steaks, which I'm gonna put after they cook on top of the veggies. And then the broth is gonna go over it. And I'm struggling to open it. Ah, there you go. I'm gonna wash the fish with some lime juice, you know, because I mean. All right, so now I'm gonna add the green seasoning. Add a little bit more. You gotta get down and dirty with your fish, you know? Get your hands a little messy. Right, so I'm just massaging the fish. I want to get all of the green seasoning in the fish. Make sure that every piece has a bit of it. And I almost forgot salt and black pepper, so just add a little bit. All right, I think we're good to go. I'm gonna leave this for a bit and work on the broth. All right, so I'm gonna start working on this broth. And first things first, toast your spices. So I'm adding some allspice, some clove, aniseed, coriander, some cinnamon sticks, and I'm gonna grate a little bit of nutmeg. Butter. This is the broccoli and cauliflower, and the lovely carrot for flavor and color. And of course, your green seasoning. Fish sauce, salt. All right, so I'm gonna add my water. It's about 6 cups of water. And then I'm going to let it come to a boil and leave it to simmer. Just reduce the heat a little bit so it can simmer, all right? All right, and you're gonna add your fishtail, extra flavor, and it goes. Get all the flavors in from all the different ingredients and let it just, you know, work together. So the 45 minutes have passed. The broth is where it needs to be. It smells amazing, it tastes really good. I made sure ever so often I would just taste it, add a little salt, add a little black pepper, whatever it needed, and I think it's done. So now I'm going to start working on my fish and my vegetables. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. And my fish. Now, it's quick, it's a quick thing. As soon as I flip this, I'm gonna start working on my vegetables. All right, time to work on the vegetables. So I'm adding some olive oil, and this is even quicker than the fish, because you want to make sure that the veggies are crispy, not soggy. You want it to be nice and crispy in your broth. So I'm gonna put some pak choy in there. And the great thing about this recipe is that, as you can see, there's a lot happening, but if you're having a little dinner party, well, not a party, just dinner, because we're in COVID. If you're having a, you know, dinner with your friends or your family, maybe about 2-3 people at a time, you can have everything here happening. So you let them pick and choose what vegetables they want. They put in their bowl, let them pick and choose which fish they want, or what steak they want, or the size of the fish. And then let them assemble their own fish broth. All right, so I think we're good there. I don't want it overcooked. I want it just still crispy. You can add your salt and pepper if you want. I'm going with just my veggies because there's already some salt and pepper in both the fish and the broth. All right, my fish should be good. Nice on both sides, perfect. And I'm going to add that on top of my vegetables. All right, so I'm going to add my broth. Now, because the broth has all the ingredients, all the spices, all the veggies, the fishtail in it, I don't want all of that in my broth. Obviously, I'm taking the liquid, I'm taking the flavors, and I'm adding it to my bowl, right? So I'm gonna strain it. Oh, this smells so good. That really pretty enough. Blow out. It's nice. It look good. She look good. All right, so moment of truth. Ooh. Yeah. It's good. Some good stuff. Let me try the fish. You know, sometimes you're making soup, and if I just get mushy, this is great. This is good stuff. But I think what I really, really like about this is the fact that it's just not one pot of something. It really allows people to just enjoy assembling their dish, their meal. And I think sometimes we forget about that aspect of eating, that it's supposed to be fun and engaging and, you know, something to really enjoy. So yeah, I would recommend to do it this way, where you have people coming in and doing their own thing. It's like a hot pot of sorts. Special thanks to MassyStores for sponsoring this episode. I hope you take the time to actually try this recipe. If you do, let us know in the comments below. And let me enjoy my fish broth, my Chinese style fish broth. Until next time, take care, bye.